You know Kristen quite well.
I do.
Yeah.
Kristen and I have known each other for almost 20 years. We first met when we were working together at a local high school in the area. I was a high school language teacher, and she started out as the student life director for the upper school and then transitioned to the assistant head of the high school. And so we worked closely together with a lot of student programming, retreat days or social events for the students in the high school. And then we both actually left in the same year after she was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, and I left to stay home. I had had 2 children and was staying home to be with them for a few years. And then we kind of reconvened a few years ago, and she shared the idea of this nonprofit with me, which in the few-year gap that we had, a lot had changed in both of our lives, and we started like this and kind of went apart, and our lives intersected again through cancer.
Do you mind kind of talking a little bit about your connection with cancer?
Sure. My first encounter with cancer was actually with my dad, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 2014. And it was a really quick journey. It was 6 months from diagnosis to death. And I had the privilege of being my dad's primary caregiver during those 6 months, which was beautiful and difficult and excruciatingly painful all at the same time. But I think that it has greatly shaped my approach for what's happened since then. In 2017, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer at the age of 39. And there was like no warning. He went from being a relatively healthy 39-year-old to within hours our life was turned upside down, and we learned that he had stage 4 cancer, that it was everywhere, every vertebrae in his spine, his lymph nodes, his hip bones, and it just turned our life upside down. But it was 7 years ago. His prognosis was not great at the time. I think kind of on average, most people survive 5-ish years with his diagnosis, but because his disease was so aggressive and so voluminous, we were not expecting that. My kids one had just turned 4 and the other was 5.5 when he was diagnosed. And my son was getting ready to start kindergarten, my daughter was still in preschool. I didn't think that my husband would still be here to see either of them graduate from elementary school. They're both in middle school now, so 7.5 years later, we're still trucking, thankfully. But it's been a journey. It's definitely had its challenges.
The common theme, the thread amongst you 3 women that I've interviewed today, very young diagnosis.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more of the early diagnosis these days, partially because of technology and information, but I also think that there are a lot of environmental factors going on, whether it's, I don't even know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? But we are seeing earlier and earlier diagnoses, which is scary, but it's becoming more of the norm. And I think that it's a part of our approach that needs to change as a society. It's not, cancer isn't just like an older person's disease, which is what it felt like when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s. Mm-hmm. It felt very far away and very abnormal for a peer's, parent to have cancer. And I think it's much more common today.
Yeah. Do you think about all of that when you're working here?
I think about it every day, all the time, whether I'm here or not.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the dialogue, I think, that's constantly going on in my head. It's just become a daily part of my life, right? And every decision I make, every plan I make is sort of shaped within the framework of cancer, not in a victimizing way, but I think in a realistic way. Like, this is our reality. And it has been hard to come to terms with, but it is our reality. And we try to make decisions and live life knowing that my husband likely won't be here as long as we had hoped or planned for or dreamed.
From looking in from the outside, to me, it appears that that acceptance is almost like what leads people here.
It's really beautiful.
Sorry, that's very nice of you to say. It's because usually, it's not you're forced to talk about it, but you're open to talk more about it. A lot of people don't want to share stuff like that about them personally.
Right.
So accepting that this is part of your life, I think helps people get here, and then you'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to communication and acceptance and facing the realities, everyone's journey is different, and everyone's level of acceptance or awareness or acknowledgement is individual. I attribute a lot of our acceptance to my husband. His job at the high school where we worked was an upper school guidance counselor, so he has a background in personal counseling. And he felt really adamant from the beginning of his diagnosis that he wanted to be very open and straightforward about it. And primarily he wanted that for our children. He wanted our kids to hear from us and not from other people what was going on with him. So at first that felt very uncomfortable for me, but I got on board with it really quickly. And when I framed everything in the context of what are we going to tell our 4 and our 5-year-old, or what are we going to tell our 6 and our 7-year-old, or what are we going to tell our now 11 and 13-year-old, it becomes a lot easier to just tell everyone the same thing. And I think acceptance and acknowledgement is a huge part of the cancer journey, and everyone reaches different levels of it at different times. I think Cancer Retreat Center provides a space where no matter where your level of acceptance is, minimally, you can come and just know that you're being surrounded by people who are also swimming in it and living it. And I think about that in terms of one of my children. I have 2 very different children. One who is very comfortable talking about it and answering questions, and one who wants to be a little more reserved before sharing. And before we brought our children here for the first supper club, I just explained it in terms of we're going to a place where we're having dinner with another family, and all you need to know is that they're living the same thing that you are. And we might not even ever talk about cancer at dinner tonight, but you get to go and be in a place where you can be you and where you can give yourself what you need in any given moment. And if that's space or grace or whatever, you can feel confident in the fact that you're here with people that understand and there's no judgment, which has kind of become our unofficial motto. Kristen and I are always repeating that Blanton House is a place full of grace and free of judgment. And I think that that's the heart of what this is. You know, wherever you are, whatever age, whatever stage, whatever your relationship to cancer is, whether you're surviving it or in treatment, whether it's a parent or whatever your relationship to cancer is, you can come here and just be whatever you are that day in that moment with people who get it and understand.